Wealth starts in the mind before it ever shows up in your bank account. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the science of rich thinking, how to train your brain for money. And we're going to be talking about the neuroscience of money, subconscious rewiring, and daily simple brain training practices to help you attract and grow wealth. If any of that sounds like mumble jumble, don't worry about it. I am the gal that is here to bridge the woo and the do of money, the three planes, the metaphysical, the mindset, and the physical. Because very often we focus on one area of wealth, hustle, or mindset. But if we're not doing a holistic approach to money and actually understanding how it all works, you're not going to get any results. So let's dive in. The science behind money thinking. I'm going to break it out into 4 different categories. There is neuroplasticity, the RAS system, which is your reticular activating system, wealth versus scarcity circuits, and reality creation. So let's quickly define those, and then we're going to talk about them in detail throughout today's conversation. So neuroplasticity, you may have heard this term, but let's make it simple. It is literally how your brain rewires itself based on repeated thoughts and beliefs. So whatever you are telling your mind is like the genie, and it says, your wish is my command. Another way to look at it is anything you say after I am, your brain's like, oh, okay. I didn't know that, but thank you for telling us that, Tracy. So if somewhere along the line of your lifetime, you've picked up a belief of, I am dumb, I am ugly, I am worthless. Ooh, I hate even saying I don't let these words sneak out of my mouth, and it just, it goes against my grain. But I need to say these beliefs because so many of us are carrying these and we don't realize that what we say to ourselves, we condition our mind. And whatever we think in our mind, we create in our reality. So if you have been told or have picked up a belief, either because you made a mistake and then you're like, oh my God, I'm so dumb. And then maybe you made another mistake. Heck, I'm 43. I've made a lot of mistakes. The older we get, the more baggage we get. And if we don't learn that that's baggage and we can question, reprogram, and then kick it to the curb, we're literally adding up like a big baggage cart. If you've ever been at an airport and how they bring the luggage to the plane, that is how I see a lot of adults. By the time we're getting older, let's say each year we're putting on a suitcase on our luggage baggage trolley cart. So every year you pick up a new limiting belief or a new mistake or a new bad circumstance, and it just weighs and weighs. And soon, by the time we get older, we're starting to get more and more paralyzed by all the luggage. So whatever you repeat to your brain, your mind, you don't have to say it out loud. The conversation you're having on the inside, your brain's going, oh, okay, thank you. The subconscious is saying, oh, we'll update the operating system. We're stupid? Okay. If we're stupid, we're going to think and believe stupid. We're going to feel that way. We're going to act that way, and we're going to get those results. I am broke. I'm never going to make any money. I can't get ahead. Whatever you repeat to yourself, that is neuroplasticity. Whatever you repeat in your mind or out loud, but most of our conversations happen in our head, become conditioned. Your mind is like a recorder. It's like, oh, I'm dumb. I'm dumb. So why not, when you catch that, just say, I am smart. Or if you don't believe it, I am becoming smart. I am working. Each and every day I'm getting better and better. We'll talk about the fun stuff at the end. The RAS system, reticular activating system. The brain is naturally designed to filter through everything that happens in our day to make it manageable for the mind. There are stats and they change, and depending who you listen to, it says that we have 40 to 60,000 thoughts a day. What? Most of us, we don't even recall that because our brain's like sifting through anything that we see. Our brain is actually taking that in without us even noticing and then going, okay, we'll store that. Safety, put that back here. Let's store it. So your brain is designed to sort through the vast amount of things you see and hear so that your brain can manage and act on what's most important. Let's say you're in a big field, your brain is actually scoping everything out. Or if you're in a city, your brain is actually on guard, scoping everything out beyond what you even know, looking for danger. All of a sudden, something sketchy catches your eye. That's your brain. You were probably even looking over here and your brain's like, wait, what's going on? It is a instinct that is man-made. Hopefully we never lose it because it keeps us safe and alive. Back to the caveman days when they were hunting, they needed to see if all of a sudden something was jumping out of the trees at them. The RAS system, the fear system, our brain is designed to keep us safe, not happy, and we don't realize that. And in today's day and age, we're fairly safe, but that instinct is primary. It's dominant. So we just actually need to learn how to work with our brain for the times we live in and the results that we want. So the RAS system, our brain's ability to filter through everything based on what we believe. So think of it this way. Let's say you bought a blue Honda car, whatever model that is. And you're like, oh, I'm going to be so unique and neat because nobody has this car. You sign the papers, you get in the vehicle, you're driving down the freeway. You are an individual that prides himself on being unique. All of a sudden, all you see is your car everywhere. Why? Because until it became relevant, until you bought that car, your brain just tuned that out. It wasn't important. Those same cars were there. Not everybody rushed out to buy the same car as you that day and they all showed up. They were there. Your brain just didn't focus on it. Same with your beliefs about money and opportunity. You could drive into a city, and if you're programmed as a compassionate soul to see all the homeless, you're going to just focus on that. If you're conditioned for poverty, all you're going to see is the homeless people and the shut down stores and the dingy buildings. If you're programmed and looking for riches, you're going to be like, whoa, look at that skyscraper. Imagine all the money that floats through that building. Another apartment block, another retail outlet, another new store coming up. There is so much money floating out there, so much possibility. How can I align with that to make money? Those are all possibilities, right? And then that rolls right into wealth and scarcity circuits, everything I just said. But here's the thing. We react to life the way we are and how we think and believe and how we feel about the world, not how it is. Because let's say you're just barely scraping by and majority of the people around you are in the same situation. Birds of a feather flock together. We end up what our surroundings are by and large. So let's say you're like, it is hard. It is tough times. It's a recession. But guess what? There are people getting loaded. I heard a stat, something like there's 1,000 new millionaires made every day. That seems high, but who cares if there's one a day in North America? That's amazing. We get what we think in life and what we believe and what we focus on. And then the reality creation circuit, based on all of the three that I just discussed, neuroplasticity, the RAS system, wealth versus scarcity circuits, we then create our reality. And we'll talk about that right now as I roll into common money programming. If you've been with me any amount of time, you'll know that I'm huge on reality creation because that's how we create our reality. I don't care who you are, what your gender is, what your eye color is, what you speak, what country you're from. We all create our reality. The world doesn't happen to us. We essentially happen to it. But here's the thing. And especially as we get older, we become so entrenched in a career, in habits, in the same life that we start to live from autopilot. Neuroplasticity. We show up to the same job. We do the same thing. We go to the same coffee shop. We drive the same way. We eat the same lunch. We talk to the same people. We go home. We pick up our kids. Same activities, dot, dot, dot. Same movies, same books, same TV shows. Well, no wonder we stop thinking that we are the creators of our life. When we're younger, I think that's we're doing it. We're building, we're making friends, we're traveling, we're trying new things. So I think younger people, while they're not even thinking about this, they would believe that they create their reality because they're out there and doing it. But no, we get into a life, into a mortgage, into bills, our options start to narrow in, and then we start to live Groundhog Day. So, why is our reality the way it is right now? Because we were conditioned by our childhood. From 0 to 7, you get 98% of your programming. That creates your subconscious programming. Think of that as the recorder at the base of your mind that programmed all the thoughts, beliefs, actions, wording, things you've seen, things you heard from your surroundings. So if you grew up fourth generation poverty, middle class, or wealthy, you're going to have seen, heard, experienced, felt a totally different life when it comes to the world, your possibility, and money. So let's say middle class. That's the bulk of the individuals. Middle class is known as middle class, and middle class, as they say, is shrinking. Could that be a limiting belief? We'll leave that. But here's the thing. You often grew up with two hardworking parents, maybe not, if you were lucky, in a family that loved you and they worked really hard to provide food, clothes, shelter, opportunities, maybe some fun stuff, depending on how you grew up. But no matter how well-intentioned our parents were, life was expensive, life is expensive, and middle class, we're usually just getting by. So you probably heard your parents say, "What do you think I am? Money tree? Who do you think I am? Rockefellers? Money doesn't grow on trees. Money is hard. Know your place. Be grateful. Don't ask for more. Why can't you just be satisfied with what you have? Rich people are greedy. Oh my God, if they actually shared their money, the world would be a better place. I can't get ahead because that person's rich." Whatever. Our programming would be based on who our parents were, who our siblings were, the community that we grew up in, the church we grew up in, the TV shows, the news that we took in, the education system, post-secondary education, a spouse when they come along. Everything formed who you are as you sit watching this or listening to this. And primarily, the people that raised you from 0 to 7 years old. And here's the thing. They grew up in a different time. And they were programmed from people 3 generations back from you, your parents, and them. So we're always being programmed by people that are a generation outdated. Isn't that nuts? Like the fact that our parents conditioned us with money is tough. Well, is it tough? Or do we think it's tough because we're reliving the life that we subconsciously learned how to live, replaying the thoughts and beliefs of our parents, when in reality, there is more millionaires and billionaires, first generation, than there's ever been. So, whose thoughts are we thinking? Whose program are we running? Our grandparents? Our great-grandparents? Even our grandparents that raised our parents. Some of that lingo is habit. People say stuff. Filler. I call it filler words. The things we speak out loud when it's just habit or we have an untrained mind. I can't afford that. Well, no, that's for rich people. Like, 1, keep this in our head, and then 2, change the channel. Change it for something else. And we'll talk about actions in the end, how you can change your mind to be a money brain. So, whose thoughts are you thinking? How did you grow up? Well, here is the amazing knowledge I hope you are watching, because this one video can change your life. We create our reality based on our thoughts and beliefs. And I just told you that your thoughts and beliefs came from your parents or whoever raised you from 0 to 7 years old. And everything in between that, you've been using your RAS system to spot and match up the world that your parents taught you was reality. Crazy, isn't it? And how liberating. So let's go through reality creation. If you can get new thoughts and beliefs, just the fact that you're watching or listening to this video is a new thought or belief. And think of it this way. You're like, well, Tracy, that's easy. You're the money boss. You've done it. You probably came from special beginnings. How about we look, and I came from middle class. My parents were hardworking. They did good. They gave me great opportunities, but I didn't come from a silver spoon. I have taken what my parents have given me and all the blessings, the good schooling, a safe home, and built on that. And I'm thankful, but I have built my money mindset, created my reality, and created wealth. Me. Wasn't handed to me. It was all earned. So you, if you're listening to this, look at how many people are out there, Tony Robbins, whoever it is. Most of the people that are really, really rich don't come from rich because the rich kid also has their whole baggage train just from coming from money. And because they come from money doesn't mean they know how to earn it. That's why rich kids usually lose a lot of money and do silly things. They haven't learned how to make, hold, spend, earn money just the same as middle class or poor people. So get new thoughts and beliefs. This video, read a book. Once you do, you're going to feel a little different. Let's say this video is your moment. You're like, oh my gosh, this Tracy girl makes a lot of sense. I'm starting to feel that I can make money. Like this is possible for me. And guess what? When you think and believe different, you start to feel different. You're going to act different. So what's going to happen? You're going to go like, what kind of books can I read? Or maybe I'm going to binge Tracy's videos. Please do. Or you're going to watch other YouTube channels about wealth and you're going to start to act different because you're thinking and believing different. Where before you didn't realize you're creating your reality and you thought middle class and suffering was your lot in life. No, if you change what you do today, you'll change your tomorrow. Not immediately, slowly. It's a creation. You got to sift through the old version of you. It's taken me 43 years to create Tracy as she sits. If I want to change tomorrow, I got to change my thoughts and beliefs, feelings and actions today, or else I'm just going to recreate the life I have now. So, thoughts, beliefs, feelings, you're going to act different. And when you act different, you get different results because you're going to start learning. You're going to start to budget. And now you're going to be intelligent with your money and not get yourself into debt for consumer reasons. And you're going to start saving and then you're going to start reading and then you're going to start launching a side hustle or doing this. And that's how you start to become a money boss because you think and believe different, feel different, act different, and you get different results. And again, it's the leading lagging. Today's new thoughts and beliefs, feelings and actions are gonna bear fruit down the line. That's why you can't quit because it might take a long time. If you're in a job and you just had your review and your company's like, no, sorry, we're maxed out on your wage, Tracy. You have a year till that conversation comes up. So if you hear this and then you start thinking and acting different and expect a new raise tomorrow, it doesn't work that way. It is a leading, lagging time. And people always try this stuff for a bit and then they get mentally lazy or physically because they don't see the results. It's just like going to the gym. You can't go to the gym and do some like bicep curls or push-ups and then expect to be like ripped. No, it's like, oh, I still look the same. I still look the same. Oh, hey, is that a little definition? Ooh, feeling a little tighter, right? That's how it goes. Now, picture that in money. Your knowledge and your new actions and everything you're putting into play is going to be invisible. until next year if you're in a job. And then your boss says, "Oh my gosh, you've been rocking it, Tracy. I want to give you a raise. I want to promote you." Or whatever the case is, you start a business. It takes time. So that is the common money programming, how you were programmed and how you get out of poverty thinking. The wealth mindset shift. So you need to see yourself as the reality creator of your life. You need to see money as something that comes to you as a consequence of time or a product or service delivered. It's not emotional. You get paid in the world according to the value you build. And I've said that in various episodes. If you are a cashier, retail, there's a lot of people that can fill that role. Supply and demand. If there's a lot of people, your skill set isn't worth as much. I'm not saying you're a bad person or the next. This is black and white, not emotional. What we should be triggering into is, oh, if I want to make more money in a job, I need to be better. I need to get a higher paid skill set. What would that be? Take an office course to become an admin assistant. Still pretty heavily competitive, a lot of supply. Then you want to become a manager. Or if you want to make money, sales is really the place to be because that's what drives revenue for companies. Those individuals are goal. That's in the workplace. In a business, you can just create a business, sell a product and service, and scale it based on demand. So you need to see money as just a currency that you get paid for your time, product, or service delivered. Want more of it? Become smarter and better, or deliver more of your product or service in a business. It's as simple as that. Money is an exchange system. And the more people want what you have to offer, the more you and your time or product and service are worth. See, the problem is we get so emotional about money because money is, it drives literally everything in our life. And then we can't sift through that and we get limiting beliefs because we don't know how we create our reality and how to handle it. So it's a vicious circle and we can't seem to get out of it. But you can because you're getting this knowledge. So let's do some quick updates to the mindset, how to train your brain for rich thinking. So you now know you're creating your reality. You didn't know it back there, so forgive yourself. But today, starting today, you know you are the creator of your reality. Good or bad, it's on you. It's on you, which is so empowering. So flip your brain from negative thinking to positive. Instead of saying, I can't afford it, how can I afford it? Instead of, I can't do that, why not me? Or how can I do that? A question can change your life. If you're thinking that things are going to go bad in your life, one of my favorites that I have printed and pasted on my office wall is, why not up? Because as a natural person that's working on their mindset, I'm always scared that I'm going to lose clients because they're not happy for whatever reason, even if I try my best, or they find the next glittery thing that they want to partake in. So sometimes I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm going to lose them. And then you think that things are going to go down. You're going to go broke. You're going to lose money. It's natural. No matter what your game is, new levels, new devils. And even the richest person still thinks these thoughts. We just learn to handle it and correct it, grab it, and direct our attention. So if you're thinking you're going to go broke and everything's falling apart, why not up? What do you mean up? We don't ever think it's going to get good, do we? We're like, I'm going to go broke. Does our brain ever say, what if we get rich? What if things turn around? Our brain is designed to protect us. And in essence, that's valuable. Because if we were off in la la land and not really thinking about money because we're going to get rich, we might not show up to work. Then we couldn't pay our bills. Then we couldn't survive. Your brain is designed to keep you safe. Not happy, not rich, safe. You need to learn to operate this system here. So how do you train your brain for rich thinking? Better questions. Reprogramming your mindset. My favorite, grabbing a book like The Science of Getting Rich, Think and Grow Rich, As Man Thinketh. There's a few classics. Get it on audiobook if you commute and play it every morning. Condition your mind. Why would you listen to the garbage of news or even music? Listen to the lyrics. There's a lot of poverty programming, divorce, yuckiness. Everything is designed to grab your attention, condition your mind, make you poor, sick, broke, unhappy. Take control of what comes in your eyes, in your ears. You're going to create more poverty, less poverty in your brain. And then, because that's your thoughts and beliefs, if you bring in good information, you'll put out good. I always say garbage in, garbage out. So if you listen to the news every morning, it's doom and gloom, poverty, recession, murder, race wars, everything terrible. Shut that off. If there is something big enough in the world that is important for you to find out and you're scared that you're going to be caught off guard by not knowing the latest news, you're going to know about it. And you can quickly go and check what's going on and be up to date. You don't need that. It programs your mind. Garbage in, garbage out. So every morning I used to take The Secret, The Science of Getting Rich, and listen to it on CD at that time, and now on my iPhone, and I program my mind. And guess what? It affected my vibration. I'd show up to work healthier, happier, more positive. I'd do better work, have better results, get promoted more, get more money, improve my knowledge. Make sure you take in good gold information. Garbage in, garbage out. Great in, great out. Now that you know you create your reality and you're programmed by everything around you, why wouldn't you take control of the programming? Even if you're driving in a vehicle alone or sitting alone, you're going to notice that you get a lot of stinking thinking. Like you make up fights and whatever it is. Shut that off. Turn on some programming like those audiobooks and let your mind focus on that. Your mind's always running a track, and a lot of it, 40 to 60,000 thoughts a day, a lot of it is filler. Unfortunately, I'm not saying you, all of us, because if every single one of our thoughts were life-changing and amazing, we wouldn't be in the same situation. We wouldn't be unhappy, we wouldn't be broke, whatever it is. We're running a program, and most of the time, whatever's coming in and we're programming is garbage. So take control of how your brain is being programmed, and you're going to get better results in reality. Visualization, mental rehearsal, just what I said. Athletes use it. So instead of when you're using your time to think, oh my God, I'm going to go broke, why don't you think of positive? Sit down, close your eyes, open your eyes, and go and think of a thought that's positive. Athletes use it. Top business people, actors use it, because whatever we think is creating our reality. You want to hear something? They have done studies on athletes that if they run the race in their mind only, not doing anything physical, it is the same wires and neurons and everything that fires in their brain, just the same as if they ran it. So most athletes, basketball players, we know they're always in their mind picturing the perfect shot. The runner is picturing the perfect race. The batter is picturing putting it into the bleachers. They're not like, oh my God, I'm going to strike out. Because your wish is my command. Your brain will do it, and your mind and body will work together to make whatever you think happen. Visualization, mental rehearsal, taking in audio that is gold. Affirmations and emotions. And realize by saying affirmations, instead of saying, I am broke, I can't afford that, how can I afford that? I'm affording that. I'm getting richer and better every day. Easy come, easy go. With each passing day, I'm getting better and better. Any affirmation like that. Like I said, your mind's running a program. Your program determines your reality. Why don't you short circuit and put in good thoughts? Affirmations are the way to do that. And then action, of course. And that's why people are like, affirmations don't work. Well, yeah, it's just part of it. It's a way to take control of your brain and think better thoughts And then you're supposed to go out and do the actions, and then you're going to get the result. Make sense? Isn't this gold? Imagine if they taught us this. Daily wealth habits. These are optional: journaling, gratitude, and also this one, budgeting, reviewing your financial goals. We're going to go into that next. Let's call training your brain for rich thinking, all of the things I just discussed. And now let's move into practical money action, creating a budget. If you are just sitting there doing rich thinking without rich doing, it's fantasy. And that's why the law of attraction doesn't work. There's 11 other laws. And the most important, I'm going to say, is the law of action. You can't just think something and then it happens. We don't live in that world. Maybe in 500 years from now, we'll be like, oh, I want that steak. Oh, I want $1 million, and it'll come to us. But we're not there as a species. Who knows if we ever will? We need to think it and then start to feel those feelings, take action, and then we get the result eventually. So rich thinking without rich doing is fantasy. So how can you start to become better with money? Make a goal. What do you want? Maybe you always want to go on a trip, so figure out how much it's going to cost. Okay, and then if you don't have a budget, that's number one. Create a budget to see how much you make, how much you're spending, how much is left. Take anything left over and put into savings. If there's nothing left, you go, well, I spend $7 on Starbucks every day. Do $7 times 30 days in a month. That's a good chunk of money. If you save that every month, every day of every month for the year, that's probably getting close to your trip. So having a goal, whether it's a trip or saving for a course or getting out of debt, having a goal centers your money attention. Because if you don't have a goal, you just willy-nilly spend. But if you're like, I am going to Mexico with my friends finally next winter, it's not going on a credit card, I'm paying for this cash, we are doing this, guess what? You're going to make coffee at home and then you're going to do it. Money goals center your focus and give you motivation. Have a budget. Start reading books. Think and Grow Rich, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, The Wealthy Banker. There's so many, and there's some about getting out of debt. Read those books. Go on to Amazon. You're going to find a lot of them. Dave Ramsey, he's good for the average person and getting out of debt. Not the person that wants to use debt to create a business, but follow Dave's methods. I'm going to have some budgeting tools right away. Follow a budget and a plan to get out of debt and take control of your finances. Because of course, your credit card doesn't jump out of your wallet. I'm sorry, guys. I'm the woo and the do and the tough love, but at the end of the day, it's your biggest coach and teaching you. You are the one that you are it. You do it. You control it. You think it. You believe it, and you get the results. You're the one that controls that credit card, the spending on your debit. You can do it. And then maybe surround yourself with better habits. Don't go to the mall just to hang out with friends. I don't care how good your willpower is. You're going to see something there you want. Don't go to the mall unless you need something, and then get it in and out. It's taking control of your money and your money power. So many ways you can become a money boss. But here is the thing. The science of rich thinking is that you are the thinker of your thoughts. Your thoughts, beliefs create your feelings create your actions create your result. So let's start thinking, believing, feeling, acting rich thoughts, and eventually we're going to get those rich results. You are it. You are the boss. And if you want to become a money boss, it's only you against you. You can do this. So wealth starts in the mind, reinforced by habits, shows up in reality. Exactly what I just said. So I'd like to give you just an action item if you want to. Because as we know, action's where it happens. If it starts with taking in information and feeling good, if we don't act on it, nothing happens. So write down one scarcity money thought you've been carrying and reframe it with a rich thought today. Rich people is bad. Geez, that's some good grammar. Rich people are bad. Well, use that thought, go out and look at all the rich people that do great things. Poor people do too. But when you have money backing a good heart and a good mind, you're unstoppable, right? Or I'm never going to get ahead. Well, that was the old you operating on old knowledge. Now you know it's you and you, your thoughts and beliefs, your feelings, your actions, your results. So, what is that scarcity money thought? And how can you reframe it to start to step into your personal power? I am so thankful you are here. You have it, you are you. It is you against you in life, and you have everything it takes to step into your personal power, make more money, build the life of your dreams. If you like this, I would love to hear from you. Comment, leave a rating if you're listening, podcast, and let me know. Just say hi. It's great to always hear from you, and especially if it impacted you. So thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.